Another Madden 21 update is upon us. We got a lot to talk about in today's video, so let's not waste any time and just get right into it. So first, we're going to cover the big roster update that just hit the game, and then we're going to talk about some other updates that are coming soon that I've been hearing about, so make sure to check out the whole video because there's a lot of information here. So we just came off the divisional round of the playoffs, which means it's time for another roster update. You're going to see mostly players that played in these games get affected, but there are some players that did not play that got updates as usual, as it's the end of the year and they're kind of still tweaking some players as the final roster updates are rolling out. Now, first up, we're going to talk about who went up on EA's blog. We're going to talk about who went down, and then we'll go over the entire list of names. So the first guy they're talking about is Daryl Williams, running back of the Kansas City Chiefs. He's going up +1 to a 71 overall, and it says here, with Clyde Edwards-Helaire sideline, Daryl Williams took over the lead role in the Kansas City backfield in a win against the Cleveland Browns last week. Williams rushed for 78 yards on 13 carries and added 4 catches for 16 yards. Nothing too crazy here, but it's notable that Williams got the nod as the primary ball carrier over veteran Le'Veon Bell. Williams will see a ratings uptick in strength, awareness, carrying, and break tackle ratings this week, resulting in a +1 overall for a 71. Next up, we've got Devon White of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who had a really good game in the divisional round against my Saints. I was particularly impressed with how well he defended Alvin Kamara on some of his routes, playing very tight coverage, and that's something that not many linebackers can do consistently. He's going up +1 to an 82 overall, and it says here, one of the NFL's most effective linebackers during the 2020 regular season was at it again against the Saints on Sunday. Devon White racked up 11 total tackles, logged 1 pass defended, and recovered a fumble, helping to advance his team to the NFC Championship. White will enjoy a +1 overall this week, putting him at an 82 overall. We'll see if he can keep it up against Aaron Rodgers and the Packers this weekend. Then we have Jaire Alexander, cornerback of the Packers. In my opinion, he is a top 5 cornerback in the league this year. I think you could even say top 3. He's been really good since coming into the league. Very young player, but just looks like a complete stud. He's going up +1 to a 94 overall. And it says here, speaking of the Packers, second team All-Pro DB Jaire Alexander is already a top 3 cornerback in Madden 21 from an overall perspective. And he's only getting better. Alexander played shutdown against the Rams last weekend, and the team struggled in the passing game. Jared Goff had 174 yards. It's tough to make an argument for a guy who doesn't show up in the box score, but that's the thing about Alexander. Teams simply don't throw his direction. He's that good. He's getting a +1 overall this week, which will put him at the 94 heading into the NFC Conference Championship. Now we have to talk about a few guys that are going down this week, and the first guy they mentioned is my guy Michael Thomas. Had probably his worst game ever. He's still not completely healthy, it's pretty clear. They said he might be having some surgery this offseason potentially as well. He's going down 1 to a 94 overall. That's where he'll finish the year after starting in the 99 club, which is a pretty big drop off. It says here, it was a rough one for Michael Thomas against the Buccaneers last weekend. He failed to haul in a single reception on his 4 targets, and now we know that he's been dealing with an ankle injury all season that will require surgery to repair. Thomas started the season as a member of the coveted 99 club, but has fallen back to earth despite his unparalleled talents. His overall will take a small dip this week, but fans hope to see him back on the top of his game next season. And lastly here we have Le'Veon Bell going down 1 to an 80 overall. It says here, as mentioned above, Le'Veon Bell took a backseat to Daryl Williams with Clyde Edwards-Helaire sidelined against the Browns last week. Bell was dealing with a knee issue a few weeks ago, so that could still be lingering. Still, Bell put up just 6 yards on 2 rush attempts and failed to catch the 2 targets that came his way. All that drama surrounding Bell going to the Chiefs earlier this season has not amounted to much, and his overall is going down as a result. It's pretty crazy when you think about Le'Veon Bell. If you would have said a few years ago, as good as he was, would be on this Chiefs team, you would think they would be literally unstoppable, and they already are kind of unstoppable, but kind of just with running backs in the NFL, they do fall off pretty quickly when things start going bad. You know, it's a downward spiral pretty quickly. I want to give a big shout out to Blinkist for sponsoring today's video. It can be really tough to find the time to sit down and read. I'm always busy with different family and work related things, and I'm sure most of you can relate to that, and that's why I love Blinkist. Blinkist takes nonfiction books and condenses them all the way down to 15 minutes, covering the key ideas and takeaways that you need to know. Blinkist has the best insights from over 3,000 nonfiction books. You can read them or even listen to them podcast style while you're on the go. I just recently checked out the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen Covey, and I've got a long list of other titles that I can't wait to dive into. The first 100 people to go to Blinkist.com/EricRayweather are going to get unlimited access for 1 week to try it out. You'll also get 25% off if you want the full membership, so definitely check that link out below in the description and in the pinned comment. So now let's talk about the other names of guys that are going up and going down. We'll go over the guys that are going up first. First of all, we got Julio Jones. Has not played in a few weeks, but they bump him up +1 to a 95 overall. Tyrann Mathieu, just been killing it all year, even last year, and pretty much his whole career. He's up +1 to a 95 overall as well. We've got Wyatt Teller going up yet again, +1 to an 89 overall. Marshawn Lattimore, my guy, +1 to an 87 overall. He has been putting together a pretty good string of games lately. Definitely looking like they're going to probably re-sign him, bring him back for some decent money. We've got Tristan Wirfs, +1 to an 86 overall. He went crazy against my Saints in the NFC Championship game. He was stonewalling everything. Very, very young, talented rookie. Marcus Williams, another member of my Saints, +1 to an 84 overall, had another good season. Derek Carr is +1 to an 83 overall. Antoine Winfield Jr. +1 to an 82 overall. Really good young rookie guy. He's the one that actually punched the ball out on the fumble in that game, which was really the game-changing play that turned the whole tide of that game. Janoris Jenkins goes up +1 to an 81 overall. Mike Davis +1 to an 81 overall. Cam Akers lost the game, but he's coming on strong at the end of the year. Rookie running back. He's up +1 to an 80 overall. Deshaun Elliott goes up +1 to an 80 as well. L'Jarius Sneed also +1 to an 80. Rashawn Gary also +1 to an 80. And then we have Sean Murphy-Bunting, had a really good game in that playoff game against my Saints, +2 to an 80 overall. Really, really solid game. Now there's a few guys that are going down, not a huge list this week. Cameron Jordan, as you're seeing, a lot of Saints players are dropping after a tough game, even though some did go up, but Cameron Jordan had a really bad game, didn't really get any pressure, -1 to a 93 overall. Andrew Whitworth down 1 to an 87 overall. Justin Tucker had some misses. You don't really see that happen too often. He goes down 1 to an 87 overall. Harrison Butker, another guy that was missing some kicks, is also down 1. He is to an 84 overall. So that's it for the roster update. Let's just talk about a few things that should be coming soon from what I've been hearing. There still is supposed to be another X Factor superstar player update. I can't believe we've only gotten one so far this year. It just seems very crazy based on the fact that we got so many of them last year. I say so many, but there was at least 3 to 4 last year. The season's almost over and we still only had one. So, you know, expect to see some of these playoff guys, some of these all-pro, Pro Bowl guys finally kind of get switched up and bumped into that X Factor. And you're going to see some guys lose it that have been, you know, struggling down the stretch. There is supposed to be more playbook updates. Don't know when they're coming. They should be soon. Last year, I do remember they did a pretty decent playbook update after the Super Bowl, so maybe that's when we can expect it, but we're saying, you know, that's still a couple, you know, 2-3 weeks away. So they've only been maybe one playbook update so far this year, and they again said they were going to do so many of them, and they haven't yet, but there is another one supposed to be coming soon. Gameplay wise, there's still a slew of things they need to tackle in terms of defense. Coverage is still very bad on next gen, as I've talked about in previous videos. There's still some more tweaking that's supposed to be done with that. There also has been a lot of server issues happening lately that I hear that they're trying to tackle, so hopefully we get the servers fixed, but it seems like there's been a lot of disconnects happening more lately. A lot of just random things kicking people out of games, especially in like competitive settings as well. It's kind of been a mess, so there is some work being done with that as well. We could possibly see some different things happening with abilities soon as well. There's still some that are like overpowered, some that still aren't really working correctly in the game, which is kind of throwing some balance off, but also there could potentially be more abilities added. That's something we saw them do a few times last year. This year, I think they've only done that maybe once, so that could potentially be coming when they do kind of shift around the superstar and X Factor players as well. They're always kind of trying to refresh those things, so be on the lookout for that soon. And of course, the franchise update is within about the next month, should still be coming, where they're going to do some more save Madden franchise type updates to kind of end off the year. So there's a lot of stuff coming soon, but I think for a lot of people, they're probably done with Madden 21 at this point because it just hasn't been that good of a game. But let me know what you think below. As always, I will see you guys next time.